Hey everyone, and welcome back to another Etheria restart video. So in today's video, guys, we're actually going to do a hero showcase slash guide on a character that hasn't been talked about very much, by myself included, and I was kind of forced to build her because I didn't have any other option, and she turned out to be fantastic. So I wanted to talk about her just in case you might have pulled her, walk through how I have her built, which is, more of a mid-level build towards the end game that we currently have at the making of this video, which is, about a week into the game. So take that with a grain of salt. But that's Xiada. So she's kind of like an AoE damage dealer that ramps up her damage, which is really cool. But we'll go over her kit here in a second. But I think she's not very talked about because she gets overshadowed by heroes like Romoka or who's the other water damage dealer? I forgot her name. Rosa. However, I think Xiada is a little more versatile than both those characters. They might be better than her in in one specific area, but the nice thing about her is she can cover both roles that Romoka and Rosa cover in one character. And I also think she's quite good in other content that those characters might not be as good in. So yeah, I just kind of wanted to talk about her and showcase her in a couple areas. So just quick thing on her kit. As you see here, she is 6 stars. She's not level 50 yet, and her base attack is quite low. Now, I think they did that for a reason because her kit builds up her attack. So if it was too high, it might be a problem. So she has this mechanic where each time she receives one buff, like if she gets 3 buffs, she levels up into the next level. And these things are called soul flames. So on her skill 1, she has the ability to steal a buff from the enemy to kind of play into that. The whole thing is kind of built around her passive. It says here for every 3 buffs, she gains a soul flame, like it evolves her soul flame. And every time her soul flame evolves, it starts at a base of, I think, 12 or 16. I think it starts at 16, but as you skill it up, which I have because I really think this character is great, I now have it at 18. So for every 3 buffs she gets, she increases her soul flame and then gets 18% attack boost. So she can do that 3 times. So what is that? 36 plus 18 is 54. 54% attack boost. That's pretty nuts. If my math is wrong, sorry, but I'm sure someone will correct me in the comments. Quick math. So that's really awesome. Now, the thing is if she gets to level 5 on this passive, her crit damage also increases up to 30%. That is huge. And her skill 3 is, like I said, an AoE. It does 220% damage base, and then has a 40% chance to inflict a defense down. And then each time her soul flames have evolved, it reduces the cooldown of this skill, which is awesome. So if you have this thing fully evolved, you just spam this skill. It's absolutely insane. So she is just AoEing all the time. And each time her soul flame is evolved, it deals an additional hit based on 65%, but it can go up to 90% multiplier. It's on each evolution too. So she really stacks up fast. But the beautiful thing about this is even if you don't have any kind of skill lattices put into her, she can still just jam her AoE all the time. Just skill 3 all the time once she gets ramped up. So she doesn't require a whole lot of investment if you don't want to, but she does get a really big boost from this level 5 on her passive. So that's what I'm working towards right now. I don't know if I'll end up leveling this up right away. I think I'm just going to level up the passive to get the crit damage benefit and then go from there. So the way I have her built, I want to talk about the shell first, because I think you start with your shells when you build your characters, and then you build your modules around them. So I do have White Fang. This is a shell that you can farm from Nico Nana. This is the most important shell dungeon that you'll unlock early game, and you'll farm the heck out of it. So I don't have the ideal kind of modules on here. And one thing to note is if you fully ascend a shell, you can no longer imprint them with new modules. So it's probably best to keep them at unascended until you do that. So I kind of made that mistake. So lesson learned there. So this shell plays even better into Xiada because it has the ability on a critical hit. It increases the hero's crit damage by 6%, and that can go up to 60%. Xiada is the type of hero that you have in these endgame fights where you're not killing something like in a matter of seconds. This is not a character that is going to be in a very endgame team where you're one-shotting bosses with like Didding or Victor or Dot explosions, things like that. This is a ramp-up character, and then eventually she's just smacking so hard, every turn that after you get to a certain point, she just will start melting people. So for the passive effect, I did get a pretty decent roll with the attack percentage, and then I have 2 effect accuracy abilities here, which I think I'll eventually re-roll, but it does kind of play into her kit because she does have the ability to put defense down. So you don't really need to run her with a debuffer if you have a little bit of effect accuracy. So these are kind of nice. So I get 10% from this roll, and then this eventually goes up to 30%. So 40% from the shell is kind of nice. So from her module standpoint, and this also isn't ideal, I just have the best type of modules that I have to put on her. I'm trying to get some of the matrix bonuses, but I wasn't extremely successful. So here you see that the effect accuracy is low. Like, I'm not building for effect accuracy, but as the fight goes on, I'll have a little bit more chance to land that defense down and maybe end the fight quickly. So I have her on crit rate, and then I have just a little bit of crit damage and flat attack. Like, this isn't ideal, but it does have the 3 Swift Rush as the matrix bonuses, so I leveled that up, and it's okay piece. I've got attack bonus here on a mythic module with some crit damage and effect accuracy. The defense and HP is actually okay at this point. It's not going to be like a min-maxed piece that I'll keep on her, but I run her in Doki Doki, and this is pretty important to keep her alive because she does die fairly quickly. And then I also have another crit rate mythic module here without any crit damage, attack percentage, or anything like that. It's just for the crit rate. So when it comes to anything fire dungeon, she only needs 85% crit rate, so she's over capped here. But for Doki Doki, I kind of want her to be able to almost crit all the time. She's got a harvest piece on here with really good substats for her speed, crit rate, attack bonus, and effect accuracy. That's an amazing piece. Here, also some pretty decent stuff, flat attack, crit rate, crit damage. And then I've got speed, effect accuracy, and flat attack. So that's her kit. That's how I have her built. Now, where do I run her? In Union Boss, she was absolutely fantastic against the Red Worm. She was the main damage dealer in here. So she was just cranking out a bunch of damage. That's this worm, sorry. Here we go. So, yeah, she was my main damage dealer in here. And she ramps up so quickly. So I'll kind of show you this run and walk you through the kit. So we're using Lily, of course, to give her as many turns as possible. But you'll see at the beginning, she probably doesn't do a whole lot of impressive damage for us, but eventually it will ramp up. So she took about 8 bars off on her first hit. And if you look over on the left here, once she got those buffs, she ended up getting 1 evolution Soul Flame. So now her attack got increased by, what was that, 18% because she was skilled up. So now you see the boss is really starting to dwindle a little bit, and that's where her skill cooldowns have gone down. But once she gets another 2 buffs, this leveled up again, and if you look at her skill now, it got reduced to 1. So if she were to get another buff, her skill cooldown got all the way down to 1. So once this levels up to 3, this is never going to be on cooldown now. See? It's just on that 1 turn cooldown. So she's just going to unload this all the time. And as soon as she crits, because she was in like old gear here, you'll see how much damage she ends up doing. So the boss is at like 52 bars right now. He's got a lot of debuffs on him. But she's coming in and just doing crazy damage. So 48 down to 43. And that's all it is just constant buildup where she is just spamming that skill 3 all the time. And remember, that's not leveled up. Like, I don't have any skills in her. And that's all she does is she just spams that high multiplier skill with those big attack boosts. So if I were to go back in here again with the gear that I have on, I mean, this boss would most likely be dead. So, yeah, that's kind of her in the guild boss. This is a really easy kind of win for her. Other places I use her are Ember Trek. Any kind of fire boss melts, right? The nice thing with her is you can pair her up with a bunch of just like really tanky support heroes to keep her alive, because eventually she's attacking everybody. She's just slowly chipping away until she does those huge nukes whenever she has all of those soul flames built up. So I use her here all the time. Phantom Theater in hard with this red lion right now, or whatever this is. This is an easy kill for Xiada. I don't know how to show you that. Sorry. I wish I was more prepared for that. But in the Threshold dungeons, this is where she has been amazing for me. The fact that I can farm Hell 3 in Doki Doki is awesome. So I actually beat this with Kloss. Like, this team has no LDs, which I thought was really cool. However, for my main team, I do use Lily because she's so good, and it just speeds it up. With Kloss, it is a lot slower. Now, I had ran this, I don't know how many times before, but it hadn't failed in about 20 runs. Knowing now that we are recording, it will most likely fail, but at least we'll give it a try. So here, yeah, you see, like, the damage on the first AoE, it wasn't amazing, but all of the slumber got landed on those on the minions, and you're starting to see this stuff kind of dwindle. She does the joint attacks with Lily, and eventually she's gonna level up her soul flame, and you see the crit damage stacks are now adding up too from our little shell here. So as the rest of the fight goes on, and this is why she's really good, is because a lot of these dungeons in content right now have waves, and all of those buffs transfer from wave to wave. So she's got an 18% boost, 36% boost from this. She's got another 24% crit damage from White Fang, and this is where like she'll just melt this wave. Then she ended up getting stunned, of course, but after she's done being stunned, then she'll go in and she'll do some big nukes again, hopefully. But she's at her full soul flames over here, which means that this will never be on cooldown. And she's the only DPS that we have in here. Now, again, like I said, Rilmoka is certainly going to be best in class in here, but I did not pull Rilmoka. I also know Rosa works in here, and she might be, just as slow. She might, I don't know if she's a little faster. The problem with Rosa is she needs to eventually have a team that has crit all around her. So we're almost done with wave 1 here, and she has max of everything. So her crit damage is all the way up, and her soul flames are all the way up, which is amazing going into that second wave on Doki Doki because they are tanky. And I think we have all of our cooldowns and stuff where we need them. So you see, she even landed the defense down on one of these enemies. So this is really helpful for us. We ended up timing the slumber perfectly. All of this is really good stuff for us. And with the Xiada fully maxed out, like this keeps going up. This will eventually get up to 60%. But look at that hit. It's such a huge hit. Like once that slumber lands and she has the ability to attack those guys without any of the damage increase, she has the potential to just fully melt these guys. Like huge damage. It's really awesome. Because yeah, she's not really talked about. So I was pleasantly surprised at how much damage she did. But you see there, like the HP and the defense that she has on her gear probably matters there. If she didn't have that, there's a potential that she could have been one shot. So the damage reduction is back up on this guy. Thankfully, the slumber got out of there, and now he's toast. So yeah, I mean, she can clear Doki Doki Hell 3, and I think she can do Hell 4 too. We just need to fine-tune some things, and we even got a triple. Oh, wow, look at that piece. Whew. It's that content creator luck, man. That was nice. So yeah, that's there. And then even on Aurora, I don't think I have the team built. I was using Viper in here, but I think I took his gear off. Yeah. So I probably can't showcase him. Oh yeah, and then Yang was in there too. Yikes. So here she's kind of good because she can steal the immunity buff on Aurora. This is probably going to fail because these are like a bunch of weak units. And you kind of need Xiada to steal that immunity before the Kloss goes. This is not a really well set up team. I was using Yang and Viper, like I said, so I don't expect this to work. We need like a really quick steal from her. This is bad. Oh yeah, Aurora's just gonna destroy us. Okay, yeah, we're out of here. But she can steal that immunity from the boss. But you see the type of damage that she's outputting. So yeah, let's get out of here. Yeah, so guys, I mean, we're at close to the 20-minute mark. Trust me when I say that she can do Aurora Hell 3. That's how I cleared. I think it's in my... Oh, yeah, it's here. There you go. Aurora, Lily, Freya, Ling Lao. So this must be the most used team because I know I did it with Yang as well instead of Freya. But anyway, guys, that was Xiada. I just kind of wanted to showcase her a little bit, show the build, how you might want to build her if you end up having her, because she can carry you. Pretty important thing when it comes to utilizing those lattices that are pretty rare. So anyway, guys, that's all I got for you. appreciate you checking out the video. Catch you on the next one. See ya.